And we are live. What's going on, team? Johnny back with another live day trading session. Hope you guys are all having a great start to your day. Today is February 24th, 2026, and it is 7:24 my time. Market opens in just a few minutes here. I want to make sure we do our part by showing up a couple of minutes early before the bell so we're not getting caught. We're just not behind, right? We're ahead of the game by showing up a few minutes early. So thank you guys for tuning in. We are tuning in for the first time. This is what we do. We go live, we trade, and yeah, okay, link is shared. Perfect. And perfect. All right. All right, so QQQ sold off yesterday, as we saw, after hitting highs of 608 down to 599. So we do have a support and a resistance for today. Looks like it's a little choppy in the pre-market session, and it looks like it is beginning to sell off in just a couple minutes before the bell. It is currently up 0.25% from where it closed yesterday, but that doesn't mean it can't sell off more. We have our alerts set if it breaks above 604.50. And we also have our alerts set if it drops below 601. Crypto also took a nosedive from yesterday. As you can see here, in the morning yesterday, it was around 65,000. Dropped all the way down to 64,000, popped back up to 65, came back down to 63,800, popped back up to 64,900, and then now it is sitting at 62,900. So we are seeing a little bit of a support right around, I'd say closer to 62.7 than anything. So we'll see if that does hold. But remember, this can sell off to 60,000. It has sold off to 60,000 previously. It could also shoot back up to 71,000. So I'm very curious to see what happens with Bitcoin today, as we do have a small position in MSTZ. I did take a position. I let the team know that we were buying 20 shares just to hold overnight. So I did buy some in that area. Let's see here if it shows. Yeah, I bought 20. Well, I had one share. I bought 19 at 14.65. So I do have an average right now of 14.64. And at one point we were up, close to $20 or 5% on this little tiny swing trade. So honestly, I should have bought more, and I could have actually just held my position from yesterday, because we had over 100 shares yesterday, and I sold most of them down at $14 because I was holding them from $13. So from 13 to 14 we were able to lock in a decent amount of money, and then from 14 pushing all the way up to 15.50, we could have locked in a lot more money as well. So a little food for thought. We could have definitely held our position a little longer. Maybe moving forward we do, but also got to remember, I am a day trader, so I like to start every morning with a clean slate. Usually, obviously I did buy 20 shares and held them overnight, but I mean, I could still, it's a very light position. I could still buy over 200 shares, so I could still buy another 180 shares if I wanted to. So again, very light position today. All right, let's see. And man, I don't know about you guys, but I did not sleep good last night. Did not sleep good at all, but that is no excuse to not show up. I show up every single day, not only for the team, but for myself, right? Making sure that we do our part. Okay, looks like we might get a bit of a rally here. So I might actually just get out of this position and then wait for a better entry. Yeah. It's only 20 shares though. But even 20 shares, it could drop $1 and I could be down $20. Well, 1464 is my average. We're just gonna wait and see what happens here. If Bitcoin sells off more or if this begins to rally, because it definitely can rally. And if this is your first time watching, definitely smash the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And market is open. Market is officially open. Let's see what QQQ is doing. A big gap down by QQQ right off the bat. We'll see if this holds. Tom, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? Alrighty. Big gap down. Trying to find support at 602. SPY is already in the red for the day, down 0.1% and dropping. Oh yeah, significant selling pressure on SPY. Bitcoin will be retesting this 200-day moving average. So we'll see if it gets rejected and sells off more, or if it has a nice little pump up today. Curious to see what happens there. Gonna bring our alert down a little bit. Looks like MSTR, it's about to break below 120.50 per share. Let's see if it does. Oh man, I should have bought more right there at the open. I should have bought more. Up 5% on a very small position. Holy moly. And again, this could just be a simple overreaction. Up $20 or 7% on a very easy, simple trade. That's insane. Well, let's go ahead and sell. Sold at market. We were just up 20 bucks. I should have waited. I regret not buying more. I regret selling early, but it is what it is. I'm getting out of this position. Obviously, if I was perfect and I could predict the future, then I would have, held this position overnight. I would have waited a little longer. And I got a horrible fill. I got a fill at 1569. That is horrible. That is a horrible fill. So, nonetheless, still up 20 bucks on the day. We're going to wait and see if this pulls back a little bit. MSTR down to 119, 118. And again, overreaction. Sometimes reactions in the market are usually overreactions, but I mean, we knew QQQ could sell off more today, and it definitely is beginning to sell off more. Look at that. Huge selling pressure today by QQQ, down to 600. Now it's at 600, which is technically a key support. So, I mean, obviously this can actually, it can go down to 599 and then pump right back up. It could sell off even more, but it doesn't have to. Okay, this is a lot of selling pressure for QQQ and SPY. Bitcoin also finding a bit of support here, right in this area, so we could see this bounce up or come back down. to 62. And there we go. MSTR beginning to retrace. I wouldn't mind buying the pullback. If this is going to continue to push up, I wouldn't mind buying the pullback. Already up 6% on the day, though, on a very light position, man. Oh, man. I would have loved to have been holding on to those 100 or 200 shares from not only yesterday, but from Friday. There we go. Bitcoin pushing up again. And we said it too, that it was going to be testing this moving average, and it got rejected right off of it beautifully. So pushed all the way up to $16. Would you look at that? Beautiful move. No window lock-in profits. Okay, MSTR is pumping now a little bit here. QQQ holding right around 600. So we're going to be patient. This pushes back up to retest this moving average. Then I would definitely love to buy more. HIMS is actually down after reporting earnings. We talked about them reporting earnings yesterday. They were down as much as 12%. Now they're only down about 8%, but still, nonetheless, HIMS is down. Oh, and they're dropping. Look at that. It's down 10% now. Beautiful. QQQ still selling off. Still selling off. See, look at that. Huge retracement back for MSTR, which means we can technically buy some more here. Let's wait and see. I'm going to start buying a few shares of MSTZ. Just because you see me buying it doesn't mean that that you need to buy it, okay? Good morning, Andrew. Good morning. I like this setup. Beautiful here. See if we can get some more selling pressure. MSTR beginning to get rejected off of this for another leg down. QQQ still selling off slightly. SPY still selling off slightly. Here we go. Let's see. MSTR trying to push back up as much as it can. New low of 118. We're going to go ahead and get rid of these. We don't even need these. Testing oversold range here. Let it drop and we'll buy more. See how high up MSTR can push. I believe it's going to test this moving average right here. That's why it's very important to understand direction. Pushed all the way up. Now down to 15, a whole dollar per share. Let it drop, guys. We will buy more. There we go. Let's see what happens right here. Does it push up? I'm going to buy another 20 shares. Another 20 shares at $15. Yeah, Bitcoin is on the rise. It is. We'll see what happens here. Just because Bitcoin is pushing up doesn't necessarily mean MSTR has to push up though. MSTR has been kind of following QQQ for a while. And again, it's a very light position, guys. Do not copy me. Very light position here. I'm in, what, 40 shares, and I could buy 300, you know what I mean? 250 shares, so very light position on my part. Already locked in profits on the day. At one point, we're up 20 bucks. So I got a nice little cushion to play off of before, you know, I go into the red here. MSTU, if you would have bought at 411 and sold at 443, you would have been good. If you bought yesterday, you would be down still. So I don't like trading MSTU. I really don't like it. I think MSTR is a BS company. It has no actual way of making money at all. It doesn't sell a service. It doesn't sell a product. It just holds Bitcoin, and Michael Saylor uses the money from his investors to borrow against it at 0% interest, dilute his shareholders to buy more Bitcoin. That's it. So I don't believe in MSTR. If you want to buy Bitcoin, then buy Bitcoin. You don't need to buy this fake Bitcoin treasury, right? I promise you, MSTR will never go back up to highs of $500 ever again. I'm surprised if it's even going to be able to get up to $200 or $300. It's so diluted. You'd be better off just buying Bitcoin, guys. Look at this. This is down 74%. And Michael Saylor continues to dilute his shareholders. So be very careful, guys. Very careful with this. Okay, Bitcoin pushing. Love to see it. We already knew this could happen. That there could potentially be a support around this level, 62. Let it push back up to retest this moving average here and see if it gets rejected around 63.6. If it does, that'd be nice to see. You know, 63.6 is really just right there. So MSTR not really pushing up with Bitcoin like it used to. QQQ though is pushing up to 604. Let's see if it holds above 604. And again, we called out this bottom. We knew this bottom was definitely very possible. So we're going to bring up our alerts. SPY beginning to rally, QQQ beginning to rally. Also, while we're waiting, AMD had some amazing news, right? AMD pre-market pushed up 15%, right? It's now only up about 5%, but it pushed up 15% due to, hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? I did talk about it in the trade ideas here in the Discord, but AMD pushed up because it secured a $100 billion AI chip deal with Meta. The deal significantly strengthens AMD's position in the AI chip race against NVIDIA. So very interesting to see for AMD who we partnered with, right? So just a little news I wanted to share with you guys, and I did share it with the team as soon as I found out this morning. So Bitcoin, here we go. Caught 63,442. Potential resistance on the day. Doesn't mean it has to stay at that level, but look at that. Beautiful resistance. Horizontal pattern, bouncing off of 62.7, pushing up to 63.4, selling back off to 62.6, push back up to 63.4. So a beautiful horizontal pattern playing out for Bitcoin. MSTR, not really curling back over, but gaining back everything that it sold off on. At one point, everyone who's tuning in now, at one point we're up $20 on 20 shares, right? I bought at $14.64 yesterday after hours, and it pushed up to 16. think we sold, where do we sell? We got a bad fill. We sold at 1569. Even though this thing pushed up on this counter to 1577, I sold it market and got a bad fill. So, it's all right. 1570, let's say. Locked in $20 in profit. Now I am buying a few more shares now. Remember this, don't copy me. This is a very light trade. I could buy over 250 shares at this point. So 41 shares is super light. Here we go. MSTR finding a little bit of support here. Bitcoin. QQQ pushing higher. It's up to 605. After a beautiful sell-off, right, down to 599, which is where, what, support is. Could push up to 608. Could test support there. Could push up to 610. Just because I drew a red line doesn't necessarily mean anything at all. Is AMD a good buy right now? I would imagine so long term. But it did get rejected off of this moving average, so that's kind of holding it down. If you look at the daily, it seems to be around somewhat of a support-ish. It's above the moving average, so like 185, 195 would probably be a good entry. But it might not ever get back below 200 again, so we're going to see. It is crossing over on the 200-day moving average. The 45 EMA is crossing over, so that usually gives a sign of it being bearish, which means it could technically sell off a little bit more. So I'd say a good entry might even be around $200. And if you start seeing signs of it really pushing up, then maybe it would be a good idea to get in now. And if you're thinking long term, then I don't see why you'd really even be asking that. If you're thinking long term, why not buy a few shares now, average into your position, and every week check up on your position, adding more to it, whether it's up or down. If you're looking to day trade it though, I wouldn't. It's showing signs of it selling off. Now, the shorts definitely like to short it at this level. And again, it got rejected at this moving average. So in order to see some more upward momentum, we'd love to see this above this moving average on the 4-hour. QQQ up to 605.60, 605. Bitcoin not really getting above 63.4 right now. Buy 20 more shares at 1508. I'm going to buy it another, let's go 10 shares. 10 shares at 1502. Whoa, why is this lagging? What the heck? Whoa, what the heck? It's not letting me buy it. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but what in the heck? Cool. Well, I got filled at 1479. I don't know why that took so long. Did you guys see that? I even tried to cancel it like 2 or 3 times and it just was not canceling. Freaky. That was freaky, guys. That's never happened to me on WEBULL. Must be an MSTZ thing. MSTR pumping a little bit here. I feel good. I think I got a pretty good average price here. Let's see. Cost basis 1513. Not bad. Not bad. 1513. I wouldn't mind seeing, maybe 1450, $14 even, and I could buy way more shares down at 14. So we'll see what happens here. Still in the green though, even though this is down, we're buying at a very good price point as far as trying to anticipate the rally for MSTZ. Giving back all my $20 in profits today, but that is not a big issue. Okay, Bitcoin breaking out. We're testing right here. Let's see what happens. We are testing the 200-day moving average on the 5-minute time frame for Bitcoin. So this is what we were waiting to see would happen. I believe it could probably rally. It could see some significant move up. It could also go up just slightly and then get rejected and start selling off again. As you can see, it's very bearish. Has been since the 22nd. A huge dip below. But 62 could technically be support. So let's see what happens. Delete this line. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of rejection here on that 5-minute time frame. That is sweet, Z. That is sweet, man. Z had some AMD one contract call for 215 sold this morning. Oh man, you know you made some money today. Good job, good job. How much can you make on one contract for AMD? How much are you able to make for one contract? Especially if you bought yesterday, right? So that means you bought within any range around 190, 196, 196 to 215. I mean, that's decent profit for just a share. I'm curious to know how much you made as far as a contract. I don't know why this looks like this. This looks weird. The way this is set up for AMD. Very odd. I like this setup better. MSTR holding around 123.60 pretty well. Bitcoin, it looks like it's going to rally. Had a red candle there for a moment. Let's see. MSTZ. MSTZ hit my alert here, 1465. That's okay. Kind of got excited, kind of jumped the gun a little bit here. MSTR pushing up to 124. QQQ pushed up to 606. Bitcoin pumping up a little bit here. 63.7. And again, it could be a little overreaction here. Look, it's above that moving average and then slowly descends. Which is fine, right? I mean, it could also push up even more. Oh yeah, and the co-founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, he's selling a ton of Ethereum right now. Like, why would he sell at such a low? You think he'd be selling at all-time highs. Seems like even the founders and some of these people just do it backwards. Just like with, I shared this other meme too in the Discord. Let me see if I can pull it up too. All of our stuff's in the Discord, guys, so it's important. You know, obviously I shared that Bitcoin dropped below 63,000 yesterday at 10:49. So I'm continuously trying to provide you guys with good content here. Where is it at though? Did I not share it here? I don't think I shared it with the Discord. It must have been on Instagram. Let's see if we can pull it up. I guess maybe it was on my phone. But it was talking about, you know, people buying Bitcoin at 125,000 and then now that it's at 60,000, like all those people don't seem to be buying now, right? Which could mean that they're super over leveraged too. So that is very possible. They already used all their money and bought at the all-time high. Also, guys, we just crossed over 500,000 views, 500,000 views on the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for you guys watching. I appreciate it. Go Bitcoin curling over slightly. MSTR curling over. Man, I could have bought a little bit more right there just a minute or two ago at 1450. I was thinking it'd probably go to about 1450. All right, here we go. MSTZ pushing up. Bitcoin beginning to sell off potentially. I'm not going to add any more to this at the time right now. I think 50 shares is pretty good. Remember, my goal is to make about $100 a day. Sunday I was able to make 179. Yesterday I was able to make 82. I mean, it was pretty close, right? And again, could have held my position a little longer. And look, let me show you guys this. Let's see what happens, right? Test support, pushes up, or gets rejected, sells off, or just kind of flatlines the way it did right here, right? It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's flat, right? So excited to see what happens with Bitcoin if it sells off more. Here's a picture here showing, there's a video, this is a thumbnail to the video, 7% profit, $182. And then this one here made $81 in 30 minutes yesterday, trading in the live stream. And again, I could have held, and I had a 13 average, 1440 maybe average. So we could have made $150 today if I would have just held those 100 shares, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, I don't like to do that. We're not here to talk about the money we made yesterday or last week or last year. We're trying to do our part by locking in profits every single day. So it doesn't matter how much you made yesterday. What matters is how much you make today. Bitcoin finding a little bit of support here. We'll see what happens. MSTR around 122.78. I'd love to see this drop even lower. QQQ again, looking at popped up, coming back down. Let's see what happens. It's setting up for the day, right? It's showcasing to us where it likes its support at today and where it found resistance today, and it's showing its price movements right now. It's showing its range. And I know I keep showing you guys other stuff, but I have stuff to show, right? And if you are a little confused about range trading, then guess what? I have a video on that. Resistance and support levels, how to use them, how to identify them, how to draw the lines. Simple and powerful strategy. It's definitely a recommended video to watch if you are new to this channel. Okay. I'll also be doing a video on trend lines very soon. Although I do have a video currently showcasing the two patterns I love to trade, horizontal patterns and uptrends. But we will have a video on trend lines here pretty soon. Maybe even today. QQQ beginning to sell off. Let's see what happens. Bitcoin also pulling back. MSTR, let's see. MSTZ back up to 15, and now look at that. We're up $17 way down here instead of $20 way up here. So we still have a healthy move here 50 shares at almost $1, so we could be up potentially, you know, $50 or so, 40, well, 50, yeah. Yeah. Easy way to see that is go to cost basis. We're right here. You can see, okay, you can be down 3.5%. At one point I was down about $27, but because I had the $20 already kind of locked in because I sold those shares this morning, I was only down like what, $6 or $7. And then if it pushes up higher from even where my cost basis is, that's $44, right? So that's half of my money today. 44 on top of the 20 I already locked in, right? Because it's or maybe it's already accounted for that. So no, it's not accounted for that. So I'm at 23, and I could potentially make another 43. So that'd be like 60 bucks or so on this one little baby trade of 50 shares. Now I should add more. I could add over 200 more shares. If this drops below and begins to sell off, I definitely do want to. Bitcoin selling off. QQQ selling off. So let's just add another 20 shares. We'll add another 20 shares. That way if it does push back up, now we're going to be like at $80 or so on the day. If it pulls back, we could buy more, we could reduce, cut our losses, etc. Okay, so we have 71 shares, $1,000 in value, and again, still very light position. It's a very light position, guys, okay? And it's cool, I'm just slightly above break even, but yet we're up 20 bucks. I love that. Let's see, because I sold up here and buying down here. Z said 56%, brother, about $155 realized. I have no capital in my account right now, trading cheaper companies and small contract sizes. That's the way to do it. Trade small to win big. Every time, traders try to go big, they end up losing it all and having to start over. So I think you have a great idea by just keeping it small, keeping it light. $155 is a win. If you could do that consistently, every day, even averaging $100 a day, that's $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month, right? So no need to be super aggressive, and it sounds like you're finding some success with it. So congrats, man. Congrats on that. I'd love to see you winning. Share those profits in the Discord and the profit chat. Everyone would love to see it. Love to see MSTR break below. Let's go. Break, break, break. Doesn't have to, but I'd love to see a break below the moving average. Let's just make sure that we are watching our position size today. Managing our risk. We know when to take profits. We know when to cut losses. All right. QQQ trying to hold. There we go. We're getting a little bit of a rally here. MSTR under 122, holding right around 122. Well, I'm ready for some coffee, man. How many of you guys drink coffee in the morning? I know I'm a bit older. We're probably all about the same age, honestly. I think we have one or two people in school right now. I don't know if he's in high school or if he's in college, but he was talking about classes today. So, and I know we got some hardworking people in the chat room that have day jobs. So, nice, nice. I love that. Oh, dang. Andrew got school and work. Yeah, I used to. I used to smoke. I don't anymore, but I used to. I used to for years in my younger days, in my 20s. But in school, I mean, I played football, track, skateboarded. Um, at one point, I was smoking cigarettes. Not good, guys. Don't smoke cigarettes. And then, of course, had my family really young. I was 19 when I got married and had my first kid, and then, of course, my second daughter came 5 years later when I was about 24. But you know, definitely do not come from a good starting point. Didn't come from a wealthy family. I have fought and struggled and pinched pennies and done everything I could, worked long hours to be in this position today where I don't have to work and I could be comfortable, right? I'm not super wealthy and rich, but I'm comfortable. And I have the freedom to not have to work for somebody. Thank God, honestly. Thank him. He's helped me break some of those bad habits. He's helped me reduce expenses and be able to make some money clicking some buttons in the morning with you guys. So I love it. And I want that for all of you too. Some people like to work, and I did too. At one point I liked working, but after being a restaurant manager for over a decade, that gets exhausting. I even got gray hair from managing people and managing product and inventory and schedules and yeah, so, and people's attitudes. I don't want to do that. Well, like, I'm not asking you, you have to do it. Like, I would do it, but then I wouldn't need you to do it. So it's like, oh man, people are crazy. It got worse after COVID. Before COVID, it was like kind of mediocre, like kind of mid. And then after COVID, just everyone just gave up. There's some people that just don't get how to work, right? No work ethic at all. Bitcoin kind of curling over, kind of finding a little bit of support here. MSTR also finding a bit of support, but not as aggressive as Bitcoin is. QQQ, again, same thing, kind of curling. I'd love to see this all begin to drop because that just means our MSTZ position would begin to push up higher. So, right now it's just kind of flatlined right now, guys. I'm sorry. This is kind of the boring part of trading is just kind of waiting, right? Z for sure. I'm in college and work too, but I work for myself and I'm trying to start my own business soon. Official business. Nice. Hell yeah, buddy. Love to hear it. Love to see it. Yeah, we got a lot of winners here. We got a lot of winners in our community that are trying to better themselves, for their family, stuff like that. So, love to see you guys winning. Here we go. Bitcoin. And also something that I always reiterate every day. Probably, I'm not even saying it right. I didn't sleep good, guys. But something that I continuously talk about in these live streams is we could have a solid trade plan, but it doesn't necessarily even have to play out during this 30-minute to 1 hour live stream, right? It could end up playing out 5 minutes after we end the live stream, an hour, 2 hours. It could play out this afternoon. It could play out tomorrow, right? And sometimes we just need to be aware that you could have a good trade plan, a good setup, and sometimes it just won't play out in the time frame that you want, right? So we just want to make sure that we do our part by following direction. MSTR is below this moving average on the 5-minute, right? So it's still looking bearish. It hasn't actually changed direction or shot up, showcasing signs of it being bullish. It did for a moment, and it still can. Could potentially happen right now. So Bitcoin Still just kind of slowly selling itself back off after a nice little rally. QQQ is the only one that actually makes sense, that it's trying to hold above the moving average right now. It's very choppy though, right? And I kind of figured we'd have a choppy day. You know, selling off, pushing up, selling off, pushing up. You know, we've seen that in the past. We've seen that literally all week, maybe even for 2 weeks. We have seen QQQ trade within this range between 599 and 608. It's gotten above 608 a couple of times, like to 609, you know, almost 610. It looked like it did get to 610 on Friday, and then immediately back down to 599. So it's been very just kind of horizontal, right? Been trading very horizontally. QQQ now pushing up to 605. It looks like it did find support, and you guys can see this very clearly, right? Or is it just me? It sells off, consolidates, over, sold, reversal. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI down here as well. Curls in over, pops back up, peaks out, begins to curl over, peaks out, consolidates, begins to curl over. And let's see if this will actually begin to curl over down to the downside, right? We got to be comfortable as day traders, understanding that these are going to push up and there are going to be pullbacks before it pushes back up again, or there's going to be potential areas where it rallies before selling off. And it's all part of the game. Nothing just simply goes down all in one shot just because. BTC still technically holding up here. MSTR, nice little move too as well, right? Nice little move on the MACD. And we're just going to wait. We could always add a few more shares down here when it makes sense. Again, still a very light position. Could buy another 180 shares, something like that. 150 shares. All right, any other companies that you guys want me to take a look at before we end the live stream? We have about 13 minutes. 13 minutes, and we'll have been live for an hour. So usually try to keep it around 30 minutes to an hour. If nothing's happening, we'll end it at 30 minutes. And if we're in a trade or, you know, we have people tuning in, we usually keep it going for about an hour. STR, QQQ making a lower high. QQQ making a lower high right now, guys. I want to add more to my position down here because it would bring my value down. Let's buy another 10. There we go. It brought it down to 1510. 81 shares. I'm comfortable holding my position at this level. Doesn't mean you have to, right? Know when to take profits, know when to cut losses. I know I could potentially lose a decent amount of money today, but I also made money the last couple of days, so it wouldn't necessarily put me back or behind if I did take a small loss. You know, it says I'd be down 42, but technically I'd only be down like 20, right? Because right now I'm only down $2, and it's saying I should be down 20, right? Because I already locked in $20. I gave myself a little cushion selling my overnight position up here. So I gave myself a nice little $20 cushion. So I could sell off $40 and only be down 20 bucks, which is beautiful, right? I could go back to break even and be up 20. just like we saw just a little while ago. So again, just because I'm comfortable holding doesn't mean you have to hold. QQQ, back down, right? Back down to the moving average. Didn't make a newer high at all. Still at support levels. So I'd love to see this begin to sell off. Doesn't have to, but we'll see. What's the VIX index at? VIX is at 2105. It's been above it all for the last 2 days. And remember, when the VIX is above, what happened to my little my letters? Oh, right here. Got to remember, when VIX is above 20, the markets are more likely to sell off, and there is way more volatility than if it was below 20, like say at 19 or something like that. So we're just kind of waiting around. And I'm going to actually put this right here. There we go. Now we can see it. Okay, QQQ. Testing very, very well here. Still holding. Could potentially see a drop. Also a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube and haven't joined the Discord yet, please consider, I do highly recommend you joining the Discord. It's 100% free, lifetime access for right now, but that will change very soon. I'm thinking by the end of March, beginning of April. You'll still be able to get into this free Discord. I'll still have it available, but I will be transferring 1,000 members over to the paid Discord. And if you're part of the first 1,000, you will get free lifetime access to the Learn to Earn Academy course, the live day trading sessions moving forward, 2 years of archived live streams as well. And you get to hang out with me one-on-one, get to ask me questions, and help kind of guide you from knowing absolutely nothing about the stock market to being confident enough to take your own trades on your own to make your own money. So that's going to be happening very soon, guys. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share it with you. You still have access to the free Discord. You'll still have access to the paid Discord. But then after that, it will be a starting price of around $97. So might as well lock in your spot now while you can. And because after that, it will no longer be free for anyone new coming in. It'll be free for you if you're in. So that cutoff is coming soon, guys. This cutoff is coming very soon. All right. Bitcoin back up, retesting 63.8, which means MSTR is back up to 124. MSTZ down to 1466. So it is finding a bit of support around this level. So we're going to actually put this here. We'll see if it holds. Doesn't have to, right? We're going to see if we get the break below or a break above. And we're just going to do that. We're just going to wait and see what happens. Bitcoin again, it could, how it came up to here, it could still begin to come back down, or we could start seeing a rally. It has plenty of room to go up, and Bitcoin has plenty of room to go down, right? So it could definitely come back up to 66 or 67,000 and retest this moving average. It's definitely possible. Nothing saying it can't. But I'm going to watch my position a little longer. We're going to see if MSTR can sell off more. And, if I can lock in, $70 on this trade, $75 plus the 25 or the 20, and I'll be up $95 to $100 today. If not, the most I'm really willing to lose is about 20 bucks or so. And right now I'm only at 11. So, this would have to come down to basically where the support level is. So if it breaks support, then I'll manage my risk and I'll get out for $20 loss. And again, I can get back in when direction is more in my favor. So, all right. All right then, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. Like always, remember, let's end the year on a green note, and we will see you all in a video later on today, and I'll keep you guys updated in the trade ideas section in the Discord. So thank you for your time. Like always, have a great rest of your day. Later, team.